Mummy will show you yours.
I've only spent 34 months outside since I was 17, I think. Most of the other times been in boys' homes and prison. Currently doing 22 years for armed robbery and grievous bodily harm. Yeah, it's been a doozy, hasn't it? Yeah. Nothing to be proud of course, but it's just something that happened. It's an occupational hazard.
Why does anyone get married? Because you love them? You want to spend the rest of your life with them? And I don't care whether he's inside or out. I'd still do it tomorrow.
Ready?
That's it, yeah, come on. Yeah, that's it. Nice big cheesies. Good one. OK, we'll do the rest of the shots inside.
We just want one done out here. OK.
How about a change? Spin you around this way. Yeah, no, we'll spin you around and do different background.
Around here. Righto. OK, spin us around here.
Get into him, Mum. Don't let him get away with any buttons undone.
There you go. How's that?
Right, and what I want you to do is just hold hands together here. Like that. Just down a little bit. That's it. That's it. Great.
I hate trying to smile, you know. It always looks false, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. Yeah. That's the way. Good, great.
A little bit nervous, but you know, it should work out all right.
Did you have a bucks night?
A bucks night? Oh, actually, I was trying to work out where I was going to go, but I didn't go anywhere.
I grew up in Melbourne in South Yarra, a middle-class family. My father was a lawyer. Went to a convent, Loretto College, which is an all-girls Catholic school. Then went on to do nursing. Got married, had a big wedding. I'm now divorced, but have a little girl from that marriage.
What? Don't wriggle on me, will you? Because when I did Mummy's, I painted mine as it was.
You got hair like Helen.
Oh, I met her through a friend up at Yatala. He was there and he thought I wasn't having any visits at the time, so he thought he'd introduce me to Joe.
Not in my wildest dreams did it ever occur that I'd be friendly with a prisoner. I mean, that was my first experience visiting a jail or anything to do with the whole penal system.
It was something we both wanted. At first I was more intended to leave it until I got out, or at least wait until I'd only had 12 months or 6 months left to go. But Jeanette sort of wanted to get married straight away, so I sat back and thought about it, and that was it.
I was going to get married, but he died, unfortunately, not long after coming out of jail. So we got as far as getting engaged, and he died, so we didn't get to do it. They're just a lot more giving and a lot more caring. It's something you'd have to really experience to believe it, because most people's image of these are hard-nosed criminals, and they're rotten. And they're not. They're soft. A lot of them are very, very soft.
First with the bottles.
Pardon? You don't reckon he'd get a laugh to see us with the bottle?
No, just first with the bottles.
Okay.
How are we going to work this out?
Let's have...
My adopted son.
the way you were before, can we do that? Right? And then one on either side. Like that. That's the idea. Okay, yeah, that's it. Nice, big, mafia smiles. Come on, let's go. Great.
Nice, was it?
Yeah, it has been.
Right.
This one stinks. Have you got a better cell?
No, at this.
All right.
That's the idea. Do you like that? That's it. Good. This hand can just kind of touching the flowers if you like. Like that. That's it. And this hand in here, just across here. Yeah, up, almost touching the breast. That's like that. That's the idea. Lovely. Good one.
Something old
Lovely.
that belonged to Madame Melba's handkerchief.
Oh.
Friend of Colin's. Friend of Colin's mum's was Madame Melba's cousin, and that handkerchief belonged to her. So that's over 100 years old. So I'm giving you that for something old, and you
Thank
can
you.
have that.
No, I didn't.
All right?
Still got the garter?
Yes, I
Got the garter? Ooh.
Passion doesn't really come into it because you don't have that. At the best of times, you get a kiss and a hug, and that's it. Passion is sort of something that you blank off. That comes later when the opportunity arises. So like they're best friends and they know each other better than what a lot of people know their husbands or wives now, because that's just the way it works. And then when the passion does come, it will probably be more intense than what it is with a normal relationship on the outside, because you've waited all those years, and you do wait. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, you put it nicely.
Hey, don't she? You do, you look a right picture. What do you mean? This door, this door.
I don't know.
This door.
Look at this.
All right.
Not everyone has to sit here now.
Now, where do we sit?
And everyone has to sit here anyway.
It's good. It's, exciting. I've started a whole new life.
Helen, George took the shoes and socks and all that down, didn't he?
Yeah, he took
Yeah,
them down.
about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it would have been. Because they didn't have half size. Have you got the same shoes? No.
No, I didn't hire my shoes already.
No, well, see,
I cheaped out.
Darren had his RMs in there, and we thought he was going to wear them.
Yeah, well, that's
But then
what
at the
he said to me.
But then at the last minute weekend, he decided differently, you see, and that's what threw things out of it.
Yeah, well, George he took the shoes down, 2 pairs of socks and a tie, I think, or a
Bow tie.
bow tie. Yeah.
Hang on, Branson, we've got your flare. No, haven't we?
No, just no flower.
I've got the lapel flower.
We're supposed to bring him, Brent.
Let me out.
Still lets you know where he is.
That's right.
He's been on edge this morning.
Pardon?
He's been on edge this
I bet
morning.
he was.
Might be small.
I think nerves are starting to set in now, yeah. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
What's going through your mind?
Many things. Yeah. Just nervous about the whole thing. First time married and everything. I suppose everybody's experienced that, it's been married before. Yeah. It's going to be good though. It's going to be great.
I don't know. Dirty, filthy criminal. He should be out on racks.
Yeah, well, I've sort of got Jeff's leg up because he's got a divide.
Oh, right.
Skinny right.
Excuse me.
Why are you so sure it's going to be good?
Biggest?
Why are you so sure it's going to be good?
Well, the fact that me and Jeanette and myself are getting married is going to be great. Everlasting.
Well, where's everybody? This wedding was at 2 o'clock,
Yeah, I know.
and I've got other things to do. Darren's probably starting to get a panicky now, thinking, God, they should have been here.
Yeah, he will be too, actually, because well, it's traditional for the bride to be late.
This has to be signed before the wedding.
Right.
This is to say there is no limit.
Here we are.
Here we are. Here we are, everyone.
Oh, dear.
Is it opening?
No, it's closing.
Oh, are you real?
Maybe they're running up and saying, no, you're
No,
not
you're not coming through.
It looks very much as though they're in a game-playing mood, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, they are. They're waiting for it.
He's trying anyway. I'll give him
Are they
that.
opening it or not?
Helen Gillespie, Jeffrey Cork, Edna Branston, Colin Branston, Cassie Cafferty.
Right, that's fine. All right. I'm afraid you won't get it. Oh, I can't get it. Sorry.
No ex-crims, Colin?
No, it's just pettiness, isn't it? Just pettiness.
Yeah, the camera's fine. Camera's fine. Yeah, yeah. And if you just want to write the names in there, and that's all I require of you.
You hold Jeff's hand. Hold Jeff's hand because you've got to look after his feet. I don't know.
Best man.
Colin Branston, I'm Sarah's father. I'm giving the bride away.
Because you're not together all the time, you know, you worry more, you care more. I think you have a lot deeper feelings and emotions than if you're together 24 hours a day.
Do this was all. Yeah. Don't stab me with it.
In many ways, it is more romantic than my first marriage is. In many ways. I think when you're together all the time, you do take each other for granted. You know they're always there. Or you presume they always will be there.
That's okay. Well, you forgot to bring the flash in for the camera.
With all these camera people, they leave their films behind and their flashes are.
It's all entertaining.
This is, well, I don't forget anything, isn't it?
There you go.
What you basically rely on is you have a 10-minute phone call per day, you have letters, you have 40-minute visits 2 days a week, and that's it. That's your life. And you live that life and you wait by that phone until they ring up and you live for that. You support them. They support you as best they can with being honest with you, with being open, being caring. They can't give you a lot, but what they give is all of them. They give everything. They trust in you. And believe it or not, we've got the power to destroy them. And I don't mean that nastily or anything like that. They put so much trust in us. We're their lifeline to the outside, and that's a big responsibility.
For family and friends, you're here today to share the occasion of Darren and Jeanette to be married. It is their decision at this time to spend time together as husband and wife, sharing whatever troubles and joys they may encounter, and to eventually, after all adversity, to live together. With this ring I thee wed.
With this ring I thee wed.
Wear it as an outward sign.
Wear it as an outward sign.
As a pledge of my love.
As a pledge of my love.
And a symbol of all we shall share.
And a symbol of all we shall share.
As long as we both shall live.
As long as we both shall live.
Slip it on. That can be seen. Say after me. With this ring I thee wed.
With this ring I thee wed.
Wear it as an outward sign.
Wear it as an outward sign.
As a pledge of my love.
As a pledge of my love.
And a symbol of all we shall share.
And a symbol of all we shall share.
As long as we both shall live.
As long as we both shall live.
Slip it on. And as you have consented together in lawful marriage in the presence of your witnesses here today, and by the giving and the receiving of your rings, I now declare you to be husband and wife.
Thank you.
That's all right. Would you like to kiss your wife?
Of course.
Of course.
On your mate.
Have a little clap.
I don't think it affects her because we've taken the time to explain to her where he is, how long it is before he can come home. But he takes the time during the week to talk to her on the phone, write to her. So she's made to feel just as special as I am.
Get really close. Come on, that's it. Heads together. That's it. Good. Great. Hang on, just. Okay, nice big smile. Good. Don't go away. That's the idea. Go. All right, good one. Go and kick that foot up. Hey, good one. Good one. Just get a big bite on it. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, I think that is, that's mine.
We wouldn't dare be unfaithful because they rely on us to keep them, to get them through. So what you basically do is you wait for that phone, they ring, then you're free to go and do what you want. So we're far more committed. You've got to be loyal, and that means no going out, no mucking around. You're there for them.
No, your wedding night is meant to be quite special, and we won't be having that for quite a few years yet. It's something you talk about before you get married, how you're going to cope with it. And when the time comes, well...
Mrs. Breensy's going out now.
Stop crying. You're not allowed to cry.
You can let us out through 3 and...
Goodbye, Mrs. Breensley.
Okay. I'll hang on the phone, mate, until we get it all sorted out. I think we're all...
Love you too. Take care, all right? Don't get too drunk tonight.
All right, she's in there anyway. You can close 4, 8 and 5 with us through 3 and 2, mate.
Give us a flash.
On you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, boogie.
That's all I ever did want to be was Mrs. Branston. And I am very happy and pleased and proud.
Well, I go for walks up there and it's like Derek's living in a castle on the top of the hill and I'm just living down the bottom.
I'm 37 years old. I got life in 1985 for a murder, which I now say that I didn't commit. And I'm doing 32 years, or life with 32 years.
He never hid anything. I mean, he told me about himself. He told me he'd spent time in jail beforehand for crimes he had committed. The reason he was in now, he hadn't done what they're saying he did, which I do believe him. And I believe that today. In the past 8 years, I've been working on the transcript, trying for a retrial.
I suppose I've had about 45 days freedom out of the last 17 or 18 years. So I've sort of almost, and I spent most of that time in maximum security jails. With women, I think I'd be a little naive, you know, because I haven't had that much contact with women. I've only had real contact with women as a child, you know, or prior to being 18. But the needs are pretty hard to cater for in here, you know, and I found that very frustrating. I suppose I also found it a little hard to sort of express my feelings being in jail. So I think Pam found that a little bit hard to understand in me.
Should I?
It come about when I was in the visiting room visiting a family member, and Derek was in the visiting room, and I knew then that there was going to be something more between us.
I suppose it was just her, you know, the way she carried herself, her innocence, I suppose, and her just being a woman. And I just think I was attracted to her, you know, first up.
Some of the guys out here, not all, they don't show sometimes maybe respect for a female, which I did get respect from Derek. But I mean, yeah, he made me feel special.
I love Pam heaps. I think I love Pam more than I've ever loved anybody in my whole life. And like in here, you know, I don't think anybody loves anybody in here or really cares about anybody.
You have to understand that when you talk about courtship, it's not like it is out here where people phone you up and say, oh, hey, how about going out for dinner? It's nothing like that. You're in a visiting room. You go in, you put your form in, so you sit opposite each other and you talk, and that's it. It's different. And then the only other contact you have is by telephone, and that's one phone call every day. Once you marry someone in jail, it's, in a way, the prison system then has control of that person in jail. They tend to have to change their way of doing jail, and that becomes extremely frustrating for the person, the prisoner. That applies pressure to the husband and wife, and it's extremely hard.
I think sometimes that people use your family, or your wife, and against you. You know, it's sort of used as a form of control, and I don't like that at all. I don't like it being used as a form of control.
Well, they have to stop and think about what they're doing. That's instead of doing something a certain way, the way they would normally handle a situation, they have to stop and think about, well, if I do it this way, then they're going to take my visits away from me. I won't be able to see my wife on the weekend, or they'll take my phone calls away. and I mustn't do this and I mustn't do that. So a man that's doing his job can only withstand that sort of pressure for so long. No. No.
If you didn't have your phone calls or your visits or, you know, all your contact, your marriage just would not be there. It wouldn't survive.
Look, listen, we'll talk about this later when I've got more time, okay?
Right, mate, time's up.
Yeah, all right. Listen, I've got to go, all right? Okay. See you later. Bye-bye.
God's sake.
You have arguments and, you know, because of the pressures of prison and all that, and, you know, you've got contact through phones and contact through visits, and sometimes those arguments sort of more or less don't finish the time the visit's finished or don't finish the time the phone call's finished, and you have to wait to the next day or whatever to sort of, you know, sort out your problem. So it gives you a lot of time to stew over things, and, you know, very difficult to sort things out.
We still had our domestics, but only our domestics dragged over maybe sometimes a few days or a week or a fortnight, because you'd have to pick up from where you left off or else you just didn't get back to it. That was extremely frustrating. When your normal marriage outside, you just get into it and you go for it and then it's over with.
Overnight it is lonely, you know, like Cassie's in bed, you know, the house is quiet, Darren's rung, and it's, you know, bedtime, and some nights it affects you more, other nights you're fine. If it's a bad night, you might just get out some of the letters they've written, read them, that'll help pick you up.
Just a reminder to let you know how much I love you and how much you mean to me. One day all this will be over, and I'll be out there with you forever. I love you, Joe. All my love always, your loving husband, Darren.
Well, Darren had put in for a transfer from Yatala. It was 8 weeks after we got married that he was transferred down to Mount Gambier, which is really the start of his rehabilitation. He's gone from maximum security to medium. Hopefully in the new year he'll become low.
Yeah, it is a long way. But you get used to it after a while. Cassie and I usually talk or sing, or sometimes Helen will come down. This is the worst stretch now between Menengi and Kingston. Be a time when I'm probably sick of it. I mean, at the moment, I'm looking at 2 years of this every fortnight. Not that you don't want to go and see them, but you can't help but wonder if there must be an easier solution or an easier way.
And they're yours.
Thank you.
They're from Chris. Come on. Oh my God. Well, it's not around the school. Can I have a look at my car? I haven't seen it before.
Penny?
Your car?
It's out the front.
front.
Can you see it from the door?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a wedding present to my wife.
All
God. Yeah, you've trashed it all right. Yes, Karen. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Quick, let's go. Just tie him up. Take his handcuffs off him, tell him.
Certainly with him being away so far and such limited visits to him, it probably is more romantic and more passionate in a different way to the average couple out here.
It's something that we'll never be able to experience now, is what it would be like just to lie down together, let alone being intimate together. And yeah, we used to talk about it sometimes, you know, what it'd be like, you know, being it's hard even to think about.
I suppose we talked about, you know, what it'd be like when we first got together and how nervous we'd be, and we just sort of talked about how it would, you know, lead up to sex, I suppose.
It was nervousness, actually, you know, when we'd talk about things like that, you know, like everybody, I suppose. I suppose the easiest thing to do would be, you know, when it was time for that, at that particular time, it would be go home and turn off the light and jump into bed. Yeah, no, I don't know.
I think it's an issue in every marriage. I think it's an important issue, you know, and I think it's important for the close contact between husband and wife.
Would you have described yourself as a sexual person?
I don't know. I suppose I've had to, you know, suppress that for many years, haven't I? So, I wouldn't know.
Well, firstly, I mean, Derek loved me. I loved him. And to me, that's very special anyway. I mean, you can live with someone, you can be in a relationship and feel this person really loves me, but you never know. But I mean, I did feel like I was loved by Derek, yes.
What would have happened though had Pam had another bloke?
Well, it's hard to imagine, you know, your wife out there with, you know, another man. It's sort of, there's always that chance that she'd fall in love with that other man too, you know, and you'd lose her. So, you know, the thought of that isn't too, you know, too good.
Saying something well, they should be straightforward, mate.
I've done a lot of time in jail, and throughout my time in jail, I suppose, you know, I am guilty of, how would I say it, sort of relationship with other men. You know, in jail you've got your hawks, you've got your cats, you know, and I've always been a hawk since I've been in jail, and
What's a hawk? Explain that.
well, I suppose a hawk is a man that lets other prisoners I suppose, perform oral sex on him or whatever. You know, I don't look at him as being a homosexual. I think he's just a man that, you know, likes sex and, you know, indulges in sex while he's in jail, just for that sheer fact. You know? And I was involved in that prior to meeting Pam, and once or twice during my marriage I slipped up.
How then is what you did different to Pam going out and having a man on the side?
Well, I suppose I see it as if Pam's out there and she has a relationship with another man, you know, she could quite easily fall in love with that man, and that would be the end of our marriage. Like what I did here, I sort of, it's not as if I'm going to run away with, you know, the relation here, because I'm not really interested. You know, I love my wife, and, you know, at the time I didn't really see what I was doing as being wrong or being disloyal, because I always loved my wife. And in my own way, I'm loyal to my wife. I was loyal to my wife. That's the way I saw it, you know. I suppose a lot of women, you know, wouldn't understand that because they haven't been sitting where I'm sitting. You know, if they were sitting where I was sitting, maybe they would. Maybe if they had a better understanding of prison.
Yeah, the pressure has gotten to both of us. We have separated. We separated a week before Easter. We were still having phone calls up until about a month and a half ago. And now there's been no contact. None whatsoever. We've decided to end our marriage. It's not a marriage that's ended under normal circumstances. It's to do with pressure.
Now, I met Anne in 1987 when I was at the old Adelaide jail. I met her through Barry Good. He's a Christian pastor that comes to the prisons. I met her through him. And friendship developed. That's all it was, just a friendship. It wasn't anything serious. And it wasn't until 1990 that we actually decided to get married.
Take you and Newhausen. To be my lawful wife. To have and to hold from this day forward. For better, for worse. For richer and for poorer. In sickness and in health. To love and to cherish. Until death should part us.
We're both searching for something. I was searching for love that I'd never had. And Anne, in her way too, was searching for something she never had. And we both did find it in each other. We did. I found a really lovely person, the first decent person I've met in my life. One of the very, very few who cared about me. And it was a real change to care about somebody else too.
For better or for worse, for richer and for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, until death should part us, to live as one, according to God's divine will.
How did you kill her?
With a hammer.
So tell me what you did.
I don't know what I did. I've picked it up and I've just belted it, because all I can remember was I'd just entered the shack again, and Anne said something about home detention. That was it.
When we went up to clean the shack, we were still in a state of numbness. I'd mentally prepared myself. I wasn't prepared for the actual damage of wrecked things. I was prepared for blood. I thought, well, if I can't do that for my sister, you know.
There were smashed windows and glass and picture frames and books, and there was blood over everything. The Act of Marriage, and that's the book we found with most of the blood on it. It just saturated all the way through it.
What do you think killed her? What did Jim do?
He got released from the cottages, and Anne picked him up. Then she was driving him up to Port Hughes, and they pulled up at Moonta, and Anne went into the supermarket to do some shopping, and Jim went across the road to the pub. And there it started. He went straight to whiskey.
And to that would have been the start of her honeymoon.
And I suppose after being 3 days drunk on whiskey, and this is their honeymoon, she's probably started thinking, well, this is what it's like in the beginning of our marriage, what's it going to be like in the end?
Oh, she was going to ring home detention and tell them, you know. But at that time, I wasn't sure. It was such a...
Did you know what it would have meant if she'd called home detention and told them that you'd been drinking? What would it have meant?
Would have meant I'd come back to jail for a few months, 6 months. But even that was preferable to hurting Anne. I was just so gone on alcohol, I had no...
And after she told you about the home detention, you then killed her?
Yeah.
She wanted happiness, and she could have had that happiness because he loved her and she loved him.
One thing that makes this fairly livable is I know that Anne forgives me. I know that. And if God said to all the angels in heaven, all the hosts of heaven, who forgives this man, Anne would gently push away to the front and say, I do. Jail is a place of dreams. That's all you've got is dreams. Prisoners need to be loved and to love people.
G'day, Hosey. How you going? How you going, mate? Here's your old mate that did time with you.
Yeah, she did a lot of time with me, didn't you, eh? Eh? Didn't you? We'll bust you out, that's what we'll do. Or force you out on parole. She doesn't like coming out.
No.
No, I know. Maybe she's sort of institutionalised.
Could be.
Yeah, it's a big world out here, eh, OBA? If I can do it, you can do it.
Anne had started writing to Jim as a pen friend. I'd been writing to people throughout Australia over the years, and we didn't realise that Jim and Michael knew each other, and it wasn't until Jim was transferred back to Yatala
from Port Lincoln,
that it was quite by accident that they discovered they were writing to sisters.
So how many years all up have you spent in jail?
Counting boys' homes? About 18 years. That's about 10 and a half years of the life sentence I served, right? And 7 years in the boys' home. You're getting close to 18 years.
Okay, well tell us about the last sentence. What was all that about?
A really bad domestic I had with my former wife. We was married for 14 years at the time.
And what did you do?
I killed her. One night, yeah. About 2 o'clock in the morning, I killed her
How did you do that?
with a knife. Initially, I was only going to frighten her, and I had the knife to amplify that I meant it. And then I found myself stabbing her multiple times, yeah. I seemed to be stabbing and slashing and stabbing until I ran out of energy. Like, all that locked up aggression came out at once, yeah. So I was taken before the Mount Isa District Court, found guilty of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. I've always been a loving, thinking person, even though I make heaps of mistakes, like everybody else, I suppose, you know. No, I was getting lonely in prison. I needed a companion, someone that I could give affection to. I needed to be affectionate to somebody, you know. So I asked God to find me a good friend. And he got back to me 7 years later with Mary.
Mary, were you nervous about being friendly and eventually marrying a man who'd murdered his first wife?
No. No, not at all.
Why not?
Well, I sort of have the faith to know that if you're genuine with the Lord, you're a new person, and those things have passed away. Yeah, a lot of people have said that, but no, I have no fear.
Married man now, yeah? Great, isn't it?
What do you think of the dress?
The dress was really nice. That was really well done. Yeah, very nice.
Good, thanks, Brandon.
Could have done a rock band in there.
Well, basically, my day-to-day life is like I'm a sole parent. There's just Cassie and myself. And then it's only every alternate weekend that we're together as a family.
Oh, I'm going to have to give you the weight here again for us, thanks.
No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. I could never have pictured myself marrying anyone in prison, but nothing surprises me if the Lord's in it.
Very different.
Still feel like a married man?
Like a married man? I'll get used to it. It hasn't been too long.
In this sort of relationship, there's a lot of emotional support. You tend to lean on each other a great deal emotionally. My main role for Derek was loving him.
Brand's been back on this week.
Let's go, mate, all right? Right, mate, that's the way.
There you go, Jackie. Oh, yeah. Let's get him hot water and all that, boss.
You did get hot water, yeah?
And got a piece of wedding cake here for Derek and Gary. If you want to do the honours, a piece here for Derek and Gary. It's going to cost you an extra egg.
I'm Mrs. Branston now, and that's all I ever really want to be.